Hi, I'm Craig Phillips, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build your own wall cabinet using reclaimed pallet wood. And the tools you're going to require is a router, drills, screws, jigsaw, tape measure, glue, set square, drill bits and a chop saw. If you don't have a chop saw, a handsaw can be used. Now my wall cabinet I'm going to build is going to be 600mm wide and just 500mm high. So again, with the standard length of pallet slat, usually about 1200mm, you can get two out of one cut. Okay, so that's 6 pieces cut, now at 600mm. I'll just place these flat on the bench at the moment. This is going to form the back of the cabinet. Now what I want to do is measure my gap along here, which is working out about 460mm. I'm going to cut 2 pieces for the side, and then I'm going to cut 2 more bits, which will go a little bit longer than that, so they can be mounted in to these sides here. Now you can start to see we're creating a kind of a frame around the back of that. What I'm going to do now is fix these corners together to get that nice and square, and then we can turn it over and we can fix them in from the sides to hold it back into position. I'm going to start off by drilling a couple of pilot holes in here. Same again the opposite side. Applying some glue. Place into one end. Once you get one in, you can square that corner up. The pilot holes are ideal for stopping the wood splitting because we're drilling very close to the end of the timber. Straight away now, we've got ourselves a nice little corner. We do the same on the adjacent 3 corners. You might find it a little bit tricky on your own here, having to hold these in and pull them together while you screw them. So I'm going to get a large clamp. Okay, so now when we release this clamp, we hopefully should have a kind of a frame like this, which is going to be one section of it, and then we're going to create another one exactly the same, which will mount onto this. But first of all, we can fix these into position by drilling a line of pilot holes all the way down this side and screwing in to the centre of these slats. Okay, so the whole back section now of the wall cabinet is constructed. What I need to do now is cut the same size pieces as my sides here and here to mount onto the top. Okay, so that's another layer of sides. One for the left and right side and one for the top and the bottom. Now, how I'm going to fix this is, because we don't want a batten on the inside nor on the outside to be seen, we're going to sandwich these together by doing a thing called a dowel joint. So we've got these little 6mm wooden dowels already pre-cut, and we want to drill 3 holes in here and 3 holes in that side, the exact same place. So when that's glued, mounted and clamped together, we're going to get a nice smooth joint on there. And how we do it is we get the one side of it, we get a couple of nails to start with, and we hammer the nail in halfway between the wood here and here. Keep it nice and square if we can. We do another one here, more or less in the centre. We're going to use 3 dowels on this particular piece of wood. And then if we get ourselves a little pair of snips and we snip the head off the nail so it's sharp, like the pointed area that we hammer in. There we go. Now what we do is we place this on top of the piece we want to get it fixed to, making sure, of course, it's flush on this edge, it's flush on this edge, and it's also flush on the front and back. So now when we pull that away, we should have 3 holes in here. I'll just put a little pencil mark on them so we don't lose them, they're only small. And of course we've got the 3 holes in here. So now what we do, we take these nails out, and we need to drill a 6mm hole to match the size of the doweling, 3 in this piece of timber and 3 in that piece of timber. You only have to drill in there probably about 15mm deep, because these dowels are about 30mm like that. But we'll put a little bit of glue on them when we fix them together. Okay. So now we get our glue. Put a little bit of glue in each of the holes, squash the dowels right down. Same again on here. Gentle tap down. Apply a little bit more glue along the bottom piece. And now hopefully we should be able to line them 3 up. And there we have perfect dowel joint. Of course you do that on the other 3 sides as well. Okay, so that's now the second layer around here. What I'm going to do is just drill a clearance hole in here, pilot hole in, and screw it in on all 4 corners, just to give it double strength. Okay, so now we've got a cabinet starting to take shape. What you got to think about now is we're going to have a partition in here and then maybe a shelf along there. So I'll start by just measuring my inside edge for the upright, 460mm. That's a nice snug fit. So this one is going to be mounted onto here using the same method a dowel joint between here, and then we can screw them in the tops. But as you can see, this is now standing up higher than the thickness of the lats below. So we make ourselves a little mark along here, and we make ourselves a mark along here. We join them lines up. Using the edge of one piece of wood, we can draw a line across there, and that's the bit that we need to cut off. Perfect. So now we have our partition in here. This can be, of course, whichever way you please. Now the size that I've chose here, I'm just going to put one shelf in it there, but of course if you made it larger, you can put a number of shelves. So like with the centre partition, simply measure up 380 millimeters and cut 2 pieces to length. So the position I'm going to put this one is round about here, just to the 3rd slat up, I think. Trusting that that's level on there. Got a line there, make a line underneath. You can remove him. And then drill some holes in between your line. That way they're going to come through the other side, and that'll give me the exact position where I want to drive the screws in to hold this shelf in place. Start the screw off. Okay, so that's our shelf height. Of course, we've cut this down the same size. All we need to do now is measure the bit that we cut off the front. Pencil mark here. And on the top. I'm going to draw a line down here now and simply cut that off. The wall cabinet structure all made. We've got all 4 sides, we've got the back in position, we've got our partition here, and we've got our shelf. Before I make a nice little trim to finish off around the top of that, I'm just going to give it a sanding down. Now the wall unit's sanded, I've also fitted a skirt along the bottom. This was a standard piece of pallet slat. We've routed the edge along it to give it that nice bullnose edge, and we've also mitered the 2 corners to continue it around the sides. I'm going to do the exact same on the top. So I'm just going to hold this into position at the moment. I want to leave enough overhang to continue around the sides. So if I make a mark here and I cut that on the miter saw at 45-degree angle, when I turn that round, both corners should meet together and marry in around the corner. So now we've got our 45-degree cut on there. This is going to be fixed to the top, and then this off cut that was originally there, cut that way, spun around, will actually marry into that corner for me. But before I glue and screw these on, what I want to do is create a little bit of a pattern along the edge of there. I can cut these out then using a jigsaw. Because this is only quite a narrow piece, to hold it in position while I do the jigsaw, and then I also want to route a nice edge on it. I'm going to actually fix it down to my workbench here. I'm going to drill some clearance holes in it Now these clearance holes will also be used when I screw it into the top of this. Okay, so that's 2 little arches now cut into there with the jigsaw. I'm going to get the router and router a nice little beveled edge all the way along there. So that's the wall cabinet now complete. We fitted the fascia along the top, routed all the edges, we mitered the 2 corners, and then we fixed it by screwing through the holes where we drilled it into the bench to hold it into position earlier. And of course, with all the pallet projects, you can varnish this, stain it all up, but remember it's a wall unit, it will be mounted to the wall, so make sure you use the right fixings. And if you want to see more pallet projects, please visit the website, silverlinetools.com.